What's up guys, Risco Gamer here, and today we have the first episode of my FIFA 16 Road to Glory career mode with Burnley. That's right, the Championship side that got relegated last season, and we're going to try and bounce them back up into the Premier League. Let's get all this boring stuff out the way and go straight into the game. Right, we've got a pre-season tournament invite for Risco Gamer and Burnley. We're going to accept that. We've got the European Continental Shield against teams such as Nice and Bursaspor. The Champions Trophy against teams such as Paderborn, Basel and Young Boys, and the European International Cup against teams such as Empoli and Palermo, and that's the one we're going to go for today. Right, we're going to go straight into a squad report now. So, in goal we're going to have Tom Heaton, 29 years old, 74 rated, England keeper. He'll be our first keeper for the first few seasons. Matt Gilks, he's too old, he's not good enough, he's out the door. We need a backup keeper, but he's not it. Then we've got Teddy Boy, 68 rated, 23 years old. He's got good pace and good potential. Matthew Lowton, 74 rated, right back at 26 years old. He's going to be our starting right back this season. We're then moving on to Cameron Dummingham. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. But maybe a year out on loan might improve that, and we can start using him as a rotation option. We're then going to move on to centre-backs and Michael Duff, 37 years old. That's about 10 years too old for me. But our limited number of centre-backs at the moment mean he's gonna stay. We're not gonna start selling him just yet. Then move on to Michael Keane, one of the better players in here in terms of rating and potential. 71 years old, 71 rated overall, and 22 years old. He'll be my starting centre-back. Tommy Anderson, he's not good enough at the moment, but he's only 21, so we're going to send him out on a 2-year loan, hopefully. And if he gets better at that over them, we're going to use him as a rotation option. Kevin Long, rotation option. We're going to bring in more centre-backs, hopefully, this transfer window, and he's going to be a rotation among them. Ben Mee, it's all about me, ladies and gentlemen. Good physical, good skill. He's going to be our starting left-back this season. Stephen Warne, great backup left-back. He can play left mid. He's got good physical. He's got good technical. And he's not too old to be shipped out. Daniel Lafferty, he's too old and he's not good enough. He's going out the door, son. You're not good enough. I'm sorry, you're gone. George Boyd, our starting right mid for this season and maybe next season until we can bring in some younger, better players. Has that something special apparently, and he's got good technical and physical attributes. He'll be fine at the moment. Scott Arfield, 70 rated and 26 years old. He's going to be our starting centre mid this season. I can't wait to use him. Moving on to David Jones. He's too old, ladies and gentlemen. Is he good enough? Yes. Is he young enough? No. Him and Di Marni are probably going to be shipped out as soon as we can bring in some younger, more high potential players. Joey Barton recently arrived on a free transfer, obviously. He's our best player at the club, 75 rated, and he's going to be my other starting centre mid along with Scotty Arfield. Frederick Ulverstad, one of the two foreign players in this Burnley side, 23 years old, 69 rated. At the moment, he's my starting centre attacking mid, but we'll see for now. Obviously, Di Marni, you know about him. He's too old. He's going out the door. Stephen Hewitt, he's going on a 1-year loan. If he gets better, we'll start using him rotationally. If not, goodbye. We then move on to Michael Kiley, obviously the former Stoke man, 70 rated, 29 years old. He's good enough for the first couple of seasons. After that, we may have to start looking at somewhere new. Matty Taylor, the ex-Bolton boy. He's too old, son. He's too old. But we're going to have to keep him for now. We'll keep him for now and see what he does. He's got a bit of a softie in my heart. He's a bit of a lad, in my opinion. We've got Josh Ginley's going out on loan. Easy, no questions asked. He's got some pace, but that's it. Andre Gray, the ex-Luton and Brentford boy, 70 rated, 24 years old, and a pace monster. He's going to be my starting striker, or if we're going to use two, he's going to be along with Sammy Vokes. Quite well rounded. He's got okay pace, but he's got good strength, good heading, and good finishing, and that's what I like. Chris Long, he's not good enough at the moment, but he's young. He's going on a 2-year loan. If he gets better, we can start using this lad, the ex-Everton man. We then move on to Ashley Barnes, or as I call him, Captain Inconsistent, as he was last season. He's got decent pace though, and he's pretty well rounded. He's going to be a rotation striker this season. We're then going to move on to Rowan Hennings, the second foreign player in this team. He's got good pace, he's got good finishing, but he's pretty much that's it. He's just an out-and-out striker, boys. He can play at centre forward, but I'm going to be using him as a striker. Lukas Justovic, he's not good enough. I saw him play last season, he was dire. He's not high enough rating, he's too old, and he's going out the door. Now we've got Aggie, oi oi oi, and we've got Jason Gilchrist. Christ almighty, they're both quite young, and they're both going out the door. Obviously, Gilchrist is better technically, but Aggie has better physical stats at the moment. But we'll see what they're like in the next couple of years or so. Moving on to the emails in our inbox. The pre-season tournament, we've got Sporting Gijón, Palermo and Empoli in our group for the group stage. Domestic Cup objective is reached to round of 32. We can do that. Obviously the league's my main priority, but a good cup run would be nice to get some experience for the squad players. We then have the generic transfer market information email, don't need to look at that really. Assistant manager thinks we should be looking for a wide midfielder. I agree with that, but we've got some other positions such as centre back and centre attacking midfielder I would like to prioritise at the moment. Our G&T scouts have given us our first scout report from, I think it's England. Don't need them, I've got a transfer targets list waiting for you in my shortlist and we'll have a look at those later. And our league objective is to gain automatic promotion into the Barclays Premier League. But I'm going for the title. Either way, we're going into the Prem this season. Now, if we look at our finances and the 75-25 split, we've got just under £9 million to play with and 56 on the wage budget. Moving on to our starting lineup and subs for our first pre-season friendly, I think it's against Palermo. As you will be able to see on the screen, we have up front the big man, the pace man, Andre Gray. With Uvestad at cam, Knightley on the left, Boyd on the right, with Barton and Arfield at centre mid. We'll then have Keane and Duff as our starting centre backs, with Loughton on the right, me on the left, and Tommy Heaton in goal. Moving on to our shortlist now, we've got some backup keepers because we're selling Gilks. Carl Darlow, the Newcastle man, he's young, he's got good potential, we'll look to get him in. We then have Marcus Bentinelli from Fulham. He looks very decent as well, and he's a bit younger. Moving on, we've got Jason Steele, the ex-Middlesbrough man. He looks very decent as well. And finally, we have Chris Walton, who's loan listed, so we might be able to get him a bit cheaper. Now, obviously I prefer Darlow or Steele out of these two, but any would do the job for me. Right. Moving on to where I think we need to prioritise first is centre-back. We've got Lewis Dunk, the Brighton man. I've played with him on a couple of previous FIFAs and he's very good, decent potential. Harry Maguire, the ex-Wigan boy. He looks good, he's young, he's got good potential. Then moving on to Tyus Browning. Obviously loan listed at Everton at the moment, so we could get him cheaper. If not, we could loan him in for a season or two. Steve Cook, the Bournemouth man. He's a starting centre-back at Bournemouth at the moment, so he may be a bit more expensive, but he'd be great. Jamal Lascelles, my priority target. He's young, he's got good potential, and he's not a first-team player. Gary Gardner. Now this was interesting. This boy was transfer listed, and I might look to get him in. But I need to see his ratings before I make a bid. Harrison Reed. Obviously loan listed by Southampton. Looks like one of the promising youngsters for the future, and we'll see if we can get him in on loan or buy him. Lewis Cook, obviously Leeds. He's young, he's got good potential, and he's too good for Leeds, really, boys. Moving on to wingers, got another dirty Leeds player in Sam Byram. Obviously he can play right mid or right back, but looks very decent. We could look to bring him in, he'd be a great utility player to play on that right wing. We've then got Solly March, another Brighton boy. I do love these Brighton youngsters. And Ben Marshall, obviously a Blackburn player. He looks very, very tasty. Patrick Roberts, obviously the next Jack Rodwell, who's going to flop at City, but he looks good and he's loan listed at the moment. Then moved on to my favourite player on the list, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Obviously, I'm a Chelsea fan. We'll see if we can get him in on loan. He's got good potential and he looks very good on this FIFA. Moving on, we need to have another backup left midfielder because we only have one really at the moment. So we're looking at two left mids really. Demar Gray, the under-19 England player who looks very good for the Birmingham City at the moment. And Rolando Aarons, another Newcastle player. Yes, I do love the Tyneside club. We'll look to get him in as well. Either of those I'd be happy with. And finally, three central attacking midfielders. Two from United, Jesse Lingard, who looked very good in pre-season, and Nick Powell, also known as the Forgotten Man. But he can play up front as well. Not very useful to us, but still could be interesting. And obviously, Alex Pritchard, a youngster, an under-21, well, was an under-21, plays for Tottenham. He's not in the first team. He could be very tasty, boys. Moving on to the new feature of FIFA 16 Career Mode, it is training. Obviously need to do this each and every week, and I'm looking forward to doing it. First player we've got, Andre Gray, distance shooting. He lacks some skill there, we need it. Michael Kiteley going on Beat Your Man. We've got Uverslad going for through balls, I think I picked in the end, yes. Michael Keane going for some one-on-one defending, obviously a young prospect in our side. And obviously the other young defending prospect, Teddy Boy, I think I chose one-on-one defending in the end. It was a bit of a deliberation, obviously, because he's a right back, but I think that's what I went for eventually. Yes, it was. Obviously, I'm going to simulate them all. Too much hassle to do them, and it's going to drag this episode on way too long. But there you go. That's what we got. We're going to play that game against Palermo in the second episode. Obviously, if you did like this introduction episode, please feel free to drop a like. Please subscribe for more FIFA content and this more of this Burnley Road to Glory career mode. And if you do have any players you want to see in this career mode, don't forget to comment and I'll put them to the shortlist. I've been Risk Gamer. Have a good day.